listen very, very carefully.
Tell the youth them to be strong. You can't tell the youth them to preach wrongs. While you try it on these lands, just remember every man is equal. Yeah, each one teach one. And our Father God, him are the only done. So make we ease and reason. Smoke trees, span the ends, all the deep meds. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's a government, no have no heart, them no care about poor people. Yeah, bigger heads no love people again. Them more than little of them. Me see friends now reason again. Vex through whistle a blame. What time it hurt me to see how the face deal with the eagle of them. Regular me see it a pain. Regular me see it a pain. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's a government, no have no heart, them no care about poor people. Social commentary. Drop the one, your principle, you don't know. The global will come and do it. Some people life every day, it's stress. The high price from JPS, that topic is currently. Jah alone, him a go help you. We need food, and we no healthy. We are feel the pain, beg you protect we. In our life, we have no fanfare. Take a look at life, and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen, and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's a government, no have no heart, them no care about poor people.
Very carefully.
Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. When God spoke his words, they said he was deranged. Marley sung his songs, they said the same. Malcolm X and Martin Luther fought relentlessly so we could be better. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. they say we are brave.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. Bad mind them up to one, hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them, yeah, rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she bike in a read. Not even 5 bills, you can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep a eye open every time you go slave. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go late. Them never yet plant and not try figure it. Bigger heads where you fight for the sake. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we submit. The system will slide where you fit.
Inna the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
it's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. Bad mind them up to one, hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them, yeah, rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she bike in a read. Not even 5 bills, you can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep a eye open every time you go slave. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go late. Them never yet plant and not try figure it. Bigger heads where you fight for the sake. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we submit. The system will slide where you fit.
Inna the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want the dough. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life. This a real ghetto life. Yeah. Everybody just a pre-success. When me looking at the street, you me see enough stress. Them all a fight for who reach up next. Everybody want floss and a beat up chest. Juvenile in a them teen love sex. Them a pre the fast money, them no need subjects. And if you're unfortunate, please don't vex. I saw the thing said cause the streets don't rest.
Inna the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want the dough. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life. This a real ghetto life. Yeah. It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. Bad mind them up to one, hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them, yeah, rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she bike in a read. Not even 5 bills, you can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep a eye open every time you go slave. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go late. Them never yet plant and not try figure it. Bigger heads where you fight for the sake. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we submit. The system will slide where you fit.
Inna the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want the dough. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life. This a real ghetto life. Yeah.
FBA Convo, can you hear me? You. Blessings to you, FBA Convo. Can you hear me? Just say a yes in the chat if you can hear me, because I don't want to be talking for too long. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm coming through good this afternoon. Hopefully, y'all can hear me well. Today, I wanted to just continue the reading that I started yesterday about the African Union. I got sidetracked big time. I had a lot of guests yesterday, but that was a good sidetracking. I'm not mad about that. The link is pinned once again if anyone feels like they want to come up and have a conversation about anything. But my goal this afternoon is just to finish this little bit of reading that I just want to get done and then see where it goes from there. I am intrigued with Pan-Africanism and with the African Union and their reparations claim. I think it's pretty interesting. And so I'm just spending a little bit of time looking it over, asking questions about it, seeing what we can discover about it, and then just going from there. Yeah, man, ain't nothing wrong with replays, bro. The replays work. And the replays are, nicely edited for your listening pleasure so that, you don't have to deal with a lot of the stuff that's, off topic or just, which at some points may be just noise. So the replays are recommended. So yesterday we spoke about the African Union, and I'm just going to reread the bottom line from what we learned yesterday. It says the African Union is a Pan-African organization in structure and inspiration. It was created to fulfill the goals of Pan-African unity, solidarity, and collective progress. However, it operates within the practical limits of state sovereignty. So it doesn't fully embody the radical Pan-Africanist dream of a single African superstate. And that's I think we said that was what they would consider the United States of Africa, but the AU does not envision that type of superstate with their Pan-Africanist vision. In their Pan-Africanist vision, we learned that each African state, Caribbean states, people in the diaspora get to retain their sovereignty in terms of their nationality. But again, that's what we learned about yesterday. ChatGPT actually recommended, after I asked that question about the AU and whether it's Pan-Africanist, ChatGPT suggested that I look into the 6th region. And this is how the AU connects with the diaspora, like Black Americans and Caribbeans. So I took ChatGPT up on its offer and asked for further information about that. So we're going to learn about the African Union's 6th region concept. And ChatGPT says it's actually the clearest way that the African Union connects Pan-Africanism to people outside of the continent, which are Black Americans, Caribbeans, Black Englishmen, and just Black people everywhere in the diaspora. I don't think that their program leaves anyone out. It's pretty all-inclusive. So here's what it says about the African Union and the 6th region. It's the 6th region because Africa is split into 5 regions: the North, the South, the East, the West, and the Central. So this is the 6th region of the African Union. First thing is what it means. the AU officially recognizes the African diaspora as the sixth region of Africa, alongside the 5 continental regions, North, South, East, West, and Central. This was declared in 2003 Maputo Summit in Mozambique and reinforced at the 2008 Global African Diaspora Summit in South Africa. I would like to know if those were viewed or presented as Pan-Africanist summits. They may be, who knows? It says it defines the diaspora as peoples of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of citizenship or nationality, who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. So they want to deal with people who want to contribute to the development of Africa and to building the African Union. The main goal of the African Union and the creation of the sixth region seems to be the development of Africa. And it's all centered around the development of Africa. Who is included? And given that it's about the development of Africa, I think that's kind of what makes me not choose to not consider myself a Pan-Africanist, because I'm an American and my goal is the development of America. I think it's in my best interest. I think that my nationality is what connects me to the things in life that matter the most to me. I get things from being an American that I can never get being a Pan-Africanist. So I see where the things that I value, I get out of being an American. And because of that, my main priority is the development of my own country. And I think for some reason, I have it in my head that Pan-Africanism wants me to redirect that shift from being an American to being more concerned about the development of Africa. And, whether that's true or not, I guess my goal is to figure out if that's ultimately what they're trying to do. I think that's what they're trying to do. They want me to have more affinity towards Africa than to America. And I don't think that's in my best interest as an American. So, for that reason, I'm choosing not to say I am not a Pan-Africanist, because I don't know if I'm willing to make that commitment. I don't even really make that commitment to Jamaica, where the only development that I'm concerned with Jamaica is just the development of my own home and my own little corner of Jamaica. So, outside of that, I'm not a part of any type of organizations for the development of Jamaica on any type of, international level, where from here, my goal is to support Jamaica with whatever they're dealing with. I don't do any of that. I think that, my number one priority is me and my country, because again, I think that when my country thrives, that's how I thrive as an individual, and that's how my family thrives. And I'm all in it for my family and doing what's best for my family. And I don't see any connection more important to me than my national connection and my connection to my nation. So we're talking about the sixth region, and the next thing ChatGPT goes into, after mentioning that it's strictly about development of the continent and building up an African Union, the next thing is who is included, and it says African Americans or descendants of enslaved Africans in the U.S. So African Americans are part of that sixth region. I know FBA probably doesn't consider themselves to be a part of that sixth region, but I'm sure Pan-Africanists that are here absolutely count themselves as part of that. The next people included are Caribbeans, such as Jamaicans, Haitians, Trinidadians, etc. Also, Afro-Latin Americans from Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, etc. So, this isn't just about what we would consider Black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean. The sixth region apparently also deals with Latinos, I guess what we would consider Afro-Latinos. So whoever falls into that category also is part of the sixth region. Because I think, normally when we think of Pan-Africanism, I don't think people consider Latinos to be a part of that. But the African Union apparently does consider them to be a part of that. Blessings to everyone that's coming into the building. As you come in, please hit that like button. It would help me out a great deal if y'all would just click that like button. It costs you nothing, but it puts joy to your heart when you click that like button. So if you can kindly do that, it would be amazing. If you're here for the first time, welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. I got good stuff to share with you. If you click the videos, you'll see nice videos of very good conversations. We are building the channel like the AU was trying to build up the African continent. So, hit subscribe, man, and hit the notification bell. So you can hang out when I go live, or you can check out the videos if you miss me when I'm live, because I try to put them together for you. So we got African Americans, Caribbeans, Afro-Latin Americans in the AU as part of the sixth region. And the next group are Europe's African diaspora, such as UK, France, Netherlands, etc. And it says essentially all people of African descent outside of Africa who identify with the continent. And there it is, as long as you identify with the continent. So since FBA doesn't identify with the continent, it's safe to say that FBA would not be a part of the sixth region. The AU doesn't count them as part of the sixth region if they do not identify with the continent. And they themselves don't count themselves as part of the sixth region. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't think it's up for debate about that. Peace to you, FBA Codex. Good to see you, sir. Hit that like button if you don't mind. As y'all come in, hit that like button. Now, the sixth region and why it matters. It says it makes the diaspora part of Africa's future, not just its past. And that's a powerful statement. It makes the diaspora part of Africa's future and not just its past. Because again, the goal is to build the continent. Their goal is to build the continent. As certainly as, according to FBA, they built America. The AU wants the diaspora to help build Africa. So it's a building process. The next reason why it matters is that it aligns with Pan-Africanism's idea that Africa and its diaspora are one people with a shared destiny. Africa and its diaspora are one people with a shared destiny. And, because we have a shared destiny, then we must be a part of Africa's future, according to the AU. It gives, and the last reason it gives for why it matters is that it gives the diaspora communities a recognized role in AU programs and policy making. Yeah, so, they're not just asking us to build Africa, but I guess we are being granted a recognized role in programs and policy making. So the diaspora does get to have a voice in policy making and to decide what the future of Africa looks like and what path it takes. The next thing are examples of engagement, and how I presume this is going to speak about how the AU engages with the diaspora or the sixth region. The first form of engagement is through citizenship gestures. Ghana's year of return in 2019 and beyond the return offered citizenship and land opportunities to African Americans and other diasporans. Also, there's the AU repatriation programs, encouraging diaspora investment, skills transfer, and business ties. The next thing it mentions is the Global Reparations Fund. And we spoke about that pretty in depth yesterday. The GRF, or the Global Reparations Fund, was launched in 2023 along with CARICOM, or the Caribbean Community, and it's directly linking African nations with Caribbean reparations movements. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Caribbean reparations movement may have come before the AU reparations movement. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say that they are linking on to the Caribbean's movement. And that's one of the questions I would want to ask as well. So, to revisit, the forms of engagement are citizenship gestures, repatriation programs, the GRF, the Global Reparations Fund, and the last thing is the AU Diaspora Parliament or forums, which are ongoing discussions about how to integrate diaspora voices into AU governance. So this, I guess, presents an avenue for, bringing to fruition the promise that people in the diaspora will have a voice in policy making. The next thing it speaks about are the limitations of the sixth region. It says the sixth region is symbolic and consultative. It doesn't give diaspora communities the same decision power, the same decision-making power as African states. Representation is still being worked out. How do millions of African descendants abroad vote, quote unquote, vote or participate in AU structures? So those are the two things that it lists as limitations. It's gonna be, I think, really difficult to make the sixth region feel as if they do indeed have a voice and that voice is being heard. So the bottom line, it says, is that the AU's recognition of the diaspora as the sixth region of Africa is a Pan-African gesture that connects Black Americans, Caribbeans, Afro-Latins, and others back to Africa politically, culturally, and economically. And I keep saying, I think it's unfair to say that Pan-Africanism hasn't done or isn't doing anything tangible for Black Americans or for the diaspora. Because I think especially the idea of citizenship gestures, repatriation programs, such as investment programs, skills transfer, and business ties, I think those are indeed tangible things that can be, you know, held up as Pan-Africanist victories, if you will. So it says it doesn't mean the diaspora has full AU membership, but it creates a formal bridge for cooperation on issues like reparations in form of the AU and CARICOM Global Fund, repatriation and dual citizenship, investment and development partnerships. Yeah, and I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty respectable. I'm not mad at that at all. That sounds like a pretty decent plan. ChatGPT then requests or recommends that I look into how Black American leaders and organizations have responded to this AU sixth region idea. And that's a very good suggestion, I think, on behalf of ChatGPT. Is right along the lines of what I'm thinking about or what I should be thinking about. I think sometimes my ChatGPT reads my mind. Um, so I said, yeah, man, let's hear it. Let's see how Black American leaders and organizations are responding to this sixth region idea. I think that is pretty interesting. It says Black American responses to AU's sixth region. One is positive receptions, unity, and reconnection. Many Black leaders and Pan-Africanist groups welcomed the sixth region as a historic recognition. Civil rights and Pan-African activists, figures like Julius Garvey, son of Marcus Garvey, praised it as a realization of Pan-Africanism, linking Garvey's Back to Africa vision with modern African politics. So the Garveyites are appreciative of these gestures, as they should be, I think. I think that these are real positive gestures put forward by the AU. You know, just what it speaks about with the citizenship, repatriation, investments, things like that, I think are a really good direction to go in terms of Pan-Africanism. I think this is the sort of Pan-Africanism that should be highlighted. I think that it's a shame that the Dr. Umars of the world kind of overshadow the great work that's being done here or the great gestures that are being put forward here. Because I think this is really what Pan-Africanism is about and should be about. It's a shame I'm too much of an American to be a Pan-Africanist. But let's see how. Let's continue reading. Another positive reception is the Pan-Africanist organizations such as the Institute of the Black World 21st Century called it a vital step to formally include diaspora voices in African governance. And I agree, it's a good step. I don't see it as a negative step at all. I think it's at least looking to open dialogue, which is vital. So I'm not mad at that. I agree with the IBW 21. It is indeed a vital step. The next positive reaction is, or reception, is that some African American religious groups, cultural and religious leaders, it says some African American religious groups, especially those with Afrocentric or Pan-African teachings, example, certain Black churches, Rastafarian communities, embraced the symbolic reconnection to Africa. I'm not surprised that the Rastas is for this. I think the Rastas absolutely, absolutely embrace this. You know, I think I was a Rasta in a former life. And I think it's the Rasta part of me that's recognizing this and appreciating this. So I'm not mad at this at all. I'm not surprised that the Rastas appreciate it. And I'm not surprised that there are Black churches as well that appreciate these gestures. The next group that it speaks about that are positively receiving this are grassroots activists. Advocates for repatriations in the US saw it as a way to globalize the reparations struggle, tying Black America to Africa and the Caribbean. So even grassroots activists in America are appreciative of these gestures. And again, I'm not surprised about that. I think even Dr. Umar would appreciate those gestures. Yeah, and I can't imagine. I'm familiar with a few Pan-Africanists online, and I can't imagine that they would have any good reason to to not support these gestures. And the second thing it goes into next are the cautious optimism, symbolic but limited. It says some US Black intellectuals and organizations supported the idea but questioned its practical input. I'm sorry, let me read that again. It says some US Black intellectuals and organizations supported the idea but questioned its practical impact. So there are people that aren't as receptive, or let me use the terms that ChatGPT says, they have cautious optimism. The first group are academics and scholars. It says many Afro-American scholars, example, Molefi Asante and other Afrocentric thinkers, noted that while recognition is powerful, the diaspora still lacks formal political power in the AU. Yeah, so they still think that all of this is just symbolic. There is no real power. You know, the talk of having a voice and creating a space where their voices can be heard is one thing, but whether or not anything that they say is enacted is something else. And there are people that are skeptical of that. There are people that think that this is just one big scam to build Africa. And I think FBA would be among those voices that say it's more in their interest to build up their homeland of America, and that this is just Africa's way of trying to draw funds away from America and into Africa, and that they don't really have any true intent of giving Black Americans any voice in the future of Africa. So there is indeed a lot of skepticism, I think. The next group are, or rather, the next reason that academics and scholars oppose it is that they warn it risks being more symbolic diplomacy than real governance. Yeah, which is just another way of saying what I just said. So the next thing is Black political figures that are not so optimistic, or that are cautiously optimistic. It says some African American politicians and diplomats supported stronger ties, but others stressed the need for the AU to deliver tangible programs, such as scholarships, business access, reparations advocacy, not just ceremonies. Not just ceremonies. You know, I'm surprised that that they don't really acknowledge the citizenship gestures and the other repatriation stuff that's happening. But I don't think that what they are requesting are horrible ideas either. Scholarships, business access, reparations advocacy, stuff like that. Um, yeah, but I don't see why it's asking too much for them to include those things. Because again, I think the AU will be taken more seriously, I think, or that their reparations fund will be taken more seriously by the diaspora when the African Union, you know, acknowledges its role in the slave trade and is the first to put something in that fund. I'm not accepting this talk of they don't have anything. They have many things. They have many things. They have so much that they've been colonialized for all that they have. So they do have stuff. They can offer, more of them can be offering citizenship, scholarships, business access, and even the reparations advocacy for local reparations struggles, if you will. So I don't accept that the AU or that African countries don't have anything to pay in terms of reparations. I don't accept that. Even if it's a little something something, put something in the fund so that those European powers know that you're being sincere. Because if you don't acknowledge your role, you won't be acknowledged as being sincere. The next thing it goes into is, instead of just cautious optimism, there's actually skepticism and criticism, which is distrust of African governments. It says not all Black Americans sees the AU's sixth region as positive, and they are skeptical of African elites. It says critiques argue that many African governments are themselves compromised by corruption, neocolonial ties, or repression, making the AU a weak vehicle for real Pan-African empowerment. And they just don't trust the AU. The discussion we had yesterday, the panel, most of the Africans and the African Americans, if not all of them, said they don't trust the AU. So that's a major problem for the AU. And I think it's going to always be a problem because corruption has been a part of Africa's, downfall for many, many years. So, and it's going to continue to be, because I don't know if I think getting rid of getting reparations is going to be a lot easier than getting rid of the corruption that's in Africa. And getting reparations is going to be supremely difficult. But the corruption is really the main reason why there's this large mistrust of African governments. It also says some grassroots activists in the US say the AU is too controlled by heads of state and not the people. The AU is too controlled by heads of state and not the people. Yeah, the AU represents countries, they represent nations, they don't represent individuals. And that's the main difference between reparations that they're seeking and the reparations that FBA is seeking here in America. FBA is seeking reparations for individuals, and the AU is seeking reparations for countries. And the reparations money is going to go to the heads of state, and they get to decide what to do with those reparations fund. Will they decide to give out individual checks? I don't know. Who knows? I doubt it, but who knows? But FBA is asking for straight payments to individuals. They think that individuals have the right to do with the money as they see fit, because it was their ancestors that were enslaved, and it's payment for work they did as far as they see it. And certainly enough, the next skeptic group that they go into is FBA, Foundational Black American, the FBA perspective. It says some within the FBA movement reject the AU's gesture, arguing Black Americans struggle is specific to U.S. slavery and systemic racism and shouldn't be merged into a broad Pan-African identity. They feel that having this broad Pan-African identity takes away from their claim here, their individual claim here, that it takes attention away from it. It brings in other legal stuff that may take away from their case here, if you will. And so they just don't want to be a part of it. They see the AU's sixth region as symbolic Pan-African public relations rather than addressing the unique claim Black Americans have on the US government for reparations. So that's why they're not wanting to be a part of that Pan-African thing. They're more concerned with their unique claim that Black Americans have with the US government. But my criticism to that criticism is that I think Black Americans also have a unique claim to the British government that enslaved them for longer than the US government did. Let's remember that America came into existence in 1776. So their reparations claim is going to have to go from 1776 onward in terms of the US government. I don't see where, if the US government is to say it's responsible, which I don't think it is, but if the US government is going to claim responsibility, it's only going to be from 1776 onwards. Those are the only ancestors that the US government would and should have a right to say, or, you know, yeah, a right to say these are the people we're going to compensate. Before 1776, that was all the British government. From 15, if FBA claimed they were enslaved from 1526, that was the Spanish that did that. So they're going to have to go to Spain for their 1526 ancestors. If they're talking about 1619, that's the same thing. That's not the American government. That's the Spanish, Portuguese, and British governments. And I don't see why they think they don't have a unique claim there as well. It's just crazy to me. Like, why you don't see that again? And it's not as if that's a different case. That's a totally different case, separate from your local case against the American government. So I don't see, and I don't get why that's not important. It was explained. I've listened to viewpoints on, just the idea that they think it takes away from their other case, and it may, but I just don't get it fully myself. So the next thing ChatGPT goes into is the key examples of response. Hey man, blessings to you, FBA Convo. Thank you for reminding me. If you're just coming in, please like the video. Like the video. I know you like the video. I know you do. So just like the video. I don't know what's stopping you. So just do it, and also subscribe. This is a good channel. This is a good channel. So, subscribe and then hit that notification bell. There's a lot of good content on here. I get visited by really intelligent people that come on to have conversations with me. And I memorialize those into videos, and I have like really good content that I think you'll enjoy. I'm trying to help, build. I'm trying to help build the community like the AU is trying to help build Africa. So hit the like button, please. Hit that like button. Do it now. Do it for Africa. Do it for America. Do it for the world. Hit the like button. Just do it. Just do it. All right, so let me go back. Key examples of responses. Supportive ones in 2012, the AU Diaspora Summit in South Africa included African American delegations who endorsed deeper ties. There were also some Black American professionals that have joined AU Diaspora initiatives. especially around investment and trade. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to that can happen in the realm of investment and trade and citizenship and just repatriation overall. I think there's a lot of doors and windows that can be open to people that identify with the continent and want to get that done. Because I've also said that I feel it's a joy to me to have a home in Jamaica. And, you know, I would encourage anyone to have a home elsewhere, especially if you identify with that elsewhere. If you identify with Africa and you own a home in Africa and you get citizenship in Africa, if it's as meaningful to you to have that connection with Africa that I feel with Jamaica, man, do it because it's an awesome feeling, I think. So just do it. And I think, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. I also don't see anything wrong with FBA trying to, you know, state their claim as being American. And I don't see a problem with that either in claiming America as their homeland because they don't have that national connection to Africa that Africans do. You know, they have a continental connection, but they don't have a national connection. They have that continental identity that makes them Pan-Africanists. And if they do that, great, they can become citizens of some nation and then have that national connection. But FBA, in my view, is trying to have that national connection to America. And I'm not knocking them for that. The only, you know, well, I do knock them for that in that they just refuse to not call themselves just American. And I think that they are not as patriotic as they could and should be. But the fact that they are claiming America as their homeland is a step in the right direction. And, you know, baby steps, I guess. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. But again, we are talking about key examples of critical or skeptical responses. It says critical responses. So those were the supportive responses where people were interested in those investment and trade stuff and just having closer ties. But the critical ones are that at the grassroots level, groups like certain FBA and ADOS activists openly reject AU diaspora integration, stressing that Black Americans, I'm sorry, let me read that again. I had a visitor. Ola is in the building. Blessings to you, Ola. Welcome back to the panel. You fell off yesterday. So, you know, we'll pick up a little bit where we left off yesterday. But let me just, if you don't mind, I'm going to finish reading this section and then I'll invite you in and we can talk for a little bit. And then I want to finish off this reading. So just give me a few minutes if you don't mind, Ola. Let me finish off. Let me get finished with this reading. I only have a little bit left to do. So the critical skepticism at the grassroots level, groups like certain FBA and ADOS activists openly reject AU diaspora integration, stressing that Black Americans must focus on the US government's debt to its formerly enslaved population. So yeah, their main goal is, listen, we're only concerned with us, bro. So that's what that is. I think I've said enough about that and the FBA's criticism and just their lack of an urge to identify with the continent. And I think the main reason that is because they don't have that national connection. You know, they're just Americans, Black Americans that need a national connection in order to have that continental connection. And there are some that I guess don't. There are some that get their DNA test and their DNA test says 68% Nigeria and they're Nigerian, bro. And that does it for them. But there are others like FBA that be like, listen, man, that DNA stuff is for entertainment purposes only, and they're not entertained. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So the bottom line, as far as ChatGPT is concerned, the bottom line is that many Black leaders view the AU's sixth region as a Pan-African milestone, a bridge connecting Africa and the diaspora, especially in global reparation struggles. Others see it as a symbolic but weak, others see it as symbolic but weak unless it provides real political representation, economic benefits, or reparations leverage. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it says a vocal segment of Black America, especially FBA and ADOS voices, rejects it, focusing instead on securing reparations within the US rather than aligning with Africa. And it goes on to makes other recommendations, but I rejected them. I had enough. I think, you know, that's pretty much what I was looking for, is just seeing just how it's being received, how the idea of being the sixth region is being received. And, the reception varies. There are those that are quite receptive to it. There are those that are cautiously optimistic. They like it, but they're cautious. They are having trust issues. And then there are others that are just like, nah, bro, we don't need it. We're good over here. And so that's where we are. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here with my reading for now. The panel is open. The link is pinned. We are talking about the AU and the sixth region. That is what we are here to talk about today. That's what the title says. I'm pretty sure that's why people click the link and come in here. And given that you clicked that link and came in here, you know how easy it is to click a link. So just hit that like button. Please hit the like button. It's just as easy as the one you hit to come in here. Just do it one more time, please. It helps the universe when you do so. Ola, welcome back. How are you today?
Bro, please just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Take your time. Take your time. Let me give a shout out to the people in the chat. FBA Convo, big up yourself. You don't know. The Holy FBA Codex TV1, big up yourself. Blessings to you. Who else is in the chat? Infinity, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. Hope to see you more often. Pan-Africanist first. Also a pleasure to see you. Hope to see you more often. Hope it's not your Pan-African first and last. Hope it's your Pan-African first and last in terms of visiting the channel. Good to see y'all here, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, hello, bro. I'm back.
Yeah. All right, Ola. Blessings to you. How's your day going today?
I'm good, bro.
Yeah, man. Tell us where you're at again. Remind us where you're at again. Nigeria. Where in Nigeria are you again?
Lagos.
Lagos. Is it in Lagos that it's hot today? Is it hot in Lagos?
It's raining. We're rainy season now.
It's the raining season. How long does that season last?
We'll be having it will be the rain now might be heavier. Once in a while, might be 2 weeks. There'll be heavy rain, then something like that. So because I live in the island aspect, so we have a little bit more rain sometime over there.
Okay. Lovely. So, you did fall off yesterday.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, just
Yeah, that was a bummer.
yeah, because sometimes it's a little bit late at that time. It's about midnight, and I just fall asleep, something like that. Sorry.
Yeah. So, the topic of today is the AU and the sixth region. I'm not sure how long you were listening, but I want to start off by asking you, what do you think of the idea of the sixth region?
Okay. What do you mean by sixth region? What do you mean by sixth region? Is this
So
sixth region?
The African Union, the African Union considers Africa to be broken up into 5 regions: the North, South, North Africa, South Africa, East, West, and Central Africa, which are the 5 regions of Africa. And then the sixth region is the Diaspora.
Yeah. So
And
we talk
so
about
that's six. So there are six regions
yeah.
of
We
the
talk about this.
African Union.
Yes. We talk
And so
about
I guess I'm asking you, do you recognize that sixth region as being a part of the African Union?
I think what would have happened is this: African Union is vast, right? We start bringing the North Moroccans and all these things. What will keep us like into connection? You have to be like ECOWAS and the CARICOMs. ECOWAS and the CARICOMs, which is the Caribbeans, the darker part of Caribbean, the Africans descendants part of the Caribbean, from Haiti, Jamaica, Barbados, down to the African descendants. The Black United States should be exempted from that immediately.
Wow, that's interesting. So before you go to the Black United States being exempted, you also said I guess those North African states, which are more, I guess, those Arab African states, should also be excluded.
Yes, so that we will know. Look, bro, so that we'll know
Are
who we're
they, do
dealing with.
you know, are they, so Libya, Morocco, those countries are also a part
Yeah,
of the African
Libya,
Union?
yes, Libya, Morocco, and all those things. The
Let me ask you
unit.
this before you go on. Hold on. Let me, just because I have this question in my head. Do you know if they count, given that those Arab nations are a part of the AU, do they count
That's why I really don't
the
know if they. That's why I don't know if they really count. If
no,
they
no, no, I
didn't really
mean, do
count,
they count the Middle Eastern countries
yeah, because
and the Gulf of the and just, yeah, the Middle Eastern countries that also have Arabic countries, Arabic people, do they count those as in the diaspora?
no. When we mean diaspora, mostly we talk about the really sub-Saharan Africans. The sub-Saharan
Oh,
Africans, we talk about the the ones that have directly from West African descendants. Then
okay.
we start having the Kenyans, the Malawis into it also, because those are sub-Saharan group of people also, which have similar. We all look the same, right?
Right.
The Zulus, the Malawians, the Zambians, the Zimbabweans, down to Botswana. You understand me? The Kenyans. These are like sub-Saharan, Inside that sub-Sahara, which would have been very perfect for us to form a union, because we have similar and the same type of DNA. Then, when you want to talk about the unity, the fifth region now, or whatever, ECOWAS plus the CARICOMs, which is the Caribbean Union, that's when you start talking about the descendants of the West Africans they took for West Africa down to some of this island and and everywhere, because we all have identical DNA, twins DNA, no different.
That's interesting. So in terms of the those Arab states being a part of the African Union, would they also benefit from they wouldn't get any of the money in the reparations fund, right? The reparations fund, it would be reserved to those, I guess, for lack of a better term, sub-Saharan
Yeah, I think.
ECOWAS type states.
Yeah, I think the so-called reparation, I think they're crazy. It's not going to happen because
Right. So don't
uh,
you think so wouldn't those North African Arab states
yeah, those who would
be
like,
required to pay
yeah,
into the
yeah, yeah,
fund?
yeah, those who would like to also have it from their French and all those that colonize them too. But you have to understand what happened in the West African coast. It's a little bit funny because we that came from those territories, we didn't really know that slave trade actually took place. You know, till we all start getting into schools, the history be taught. You understand me? And that history is not the book, the subject is not so big. It's not like a page. Just talk about what happened, but not consciously into our mindset. You understand me? Not just deep into our mindset. So after the teaching, we never really settle that and digest it. You know, what actually took place, what actually happened. It was during now this social media, YouTube of a thing, we start becoming you be an adult, and things are more directly now in your pocket, which is this mobile phone. You can do research and find that thing. That's when we start seeing some of the footprint, the footprint of what actually really happened. Oh, okay, that's why there's something or something like this. So I think why they close mark that subject by our ancestors is because slave trade touched every home among all of them. No one was free from it. Apart from the kings, even the kings, some of themselves were even took over, their children also took over to the big boat. So slave trade didn't really happen like, oh, you did it. You did it. No, you have to hold the
Right,
king
but
responsible for
I
what
don't
he
think
did.
those Arab North African countries, they participated in the slave trade.
Yeah, yeah,
They've
yeah.
they've
Those are
held
like
slaves for hundreds of years, and
yeah,
some of them still do today. There are reports
those
of
are the
slavery going on in Libya
yeah,
even today,
yeah.
right?
See, yeah, but those are the desert ones. Those are the ones that slaved the Kenyans and the Tanzanians and everything. In Libya, the slave, it's not really slave. The people that went over there, the Africans that went over there, and the Arabs never really see Africa, the dark Africans as equal because they already have because they already slaved them already. They still believe that they're still slaves to them. You know what I mean? So when they come over there, maybe by crossing over to Europe or to any other place, they're still kind of like, because these people have no power. If you put an Arab man down on a free basis and say let's fight, they will be gone within 2 seconds. But they only that when you come to their territory, that's when they're able to carry out this thing because you don't have power. They are more than you. 5 of you
Right.
cannot
So
fight the whole
okay,
country.
but yeah, but I'm trying to have you answer like a straight question. Should they not be required to put money in the global reparations fund that the AU has put together?
My brother, the Arab people don't themselves don't even have the money. Forget about this fake what they show on TV, the Arab oil money. They will not do it. You understand? And I don't even want an Arab man to even come close to say they put in money. They are not trustworthy. They sponsor some certain type of instability in some part of Africa with that money by this their jihadist program and everything. I'm not really keen to Arab like that. I'm more to people that look like me, exempt the Black America out of it.
Wow, I just don't know how people just accept the answer of they don't have anything to put in the reparations fund. Like you have to have something. $1, $1, right? Like put something in there. Like you
Look,
cannot convince me that all of those African countries, the some of the West African ones, and the North African ones that all participated in the slave trade and benefited from the slave trade, how
Look,
they refuse to put anything in the reparations pot, as if and
look,
their excuse is, oh, we don't have anything, but they're thriving as countries though. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, no, y'all, we cannot hold. I would see why the AU reparations fund would be not trusted,
yeah,
just for
look,
that reason alone. Because just for that reason alone, I don't trust it. Because I'm like, how do y'all say you cannot put $10 in the fund? That's crazy to me.
look. What I
And then
say
and then
here,
there are people like you, right, Ola, that don't want them to be a part of the African Union, but you accept their response of, we don't got no money. Y'all
yeah,
gotta have some money from all them slaves you've sold over the years. And what about the ones y'all continue to sell even today? How do you accept from them this notion of, we ain't got no money? And then you start to echo it. I think that you're doing like a disservice because the ECOWAS state are a part of the AU as well, right? Ola, can you hear me?
yes. Look,
The ECOWAS
uh,
states are a part of the AU as well, right?
yeah, the ECOWAS state is West Africa Organizational Economical Zone, right? Which is for all the West
Yeah,
Africa.
so I'm sure even if they were to kick the Arab states out of the African Union and just go at it alone, I think they would still want that reparations fund. And
I
and
would
I'm
have preferred.
thinking I'm thinking the reparations fund is their idea. It wasn't the Arabs' idea, it was their idea. So they're still going to have that reparations fund. And even
I
after
would have
that,
preferred to be.
are they still going to be closed-minded to having the Arabs contribute to that fund? Why
I
is
would
it
have
that they're only calling on the
the
Europeans? Why is it that they're only mad at the Europeans?
if the Europe look. I would prefer what you call this reparation of 15 reparation to be paid to those that they took from Africa. I would prefer the CARICONs. Look, when you move people away from their inhabitants and miss their family, some of them maybe lose their land, lose their tribe, and lose everything, right? Went to far away. Some of them died and everything. The ones that remain in Africa still hold on to the land, the language, and their inhabitants, right? So anything reparation, I don't understand what African Union is trying to chip into this nonsense. They should be paid to the CARICONs. You understand me? And to those Black Americans that fed their Africans. You understand me? Who fed their Africans? You understand? Why you so they have to settle the Caribbeans because they took those people away from their habitats. And
Yeah, but
so
that's exactly why I'm saying because nobody has donated to the fund. And that's why I'm saying they should be the first ones to put something in the pot in that reparations fund. And then once that money is in the pot, it can get distributed to those Caribbean countries that you're talking about. So
that,
both things can happen.
yeah,
Those
that's what
ECOWAS countries, let me just say this, those ECOWAS countries, both things that you want to happen can happen. The Caribbean can get the money from those African countries. All those ECOWAS countries got to do is fund
yeah,
the reparations fund and then say that money is only for the Caribbean. Africa ain't getting none of that share,
that's
right?
good.
But it
Yes.
can be done through that fund. And once they put something in that fund, those European countries will see that they're serious about reparations. And then they may consider putting something in there. But until they do that, I don't see why those European countries have any reason to pay them any mind.
Yeah, but you have to understand that yes, that's what the African Union is supposed to be pursuing, not just only the Europeans and also to the Arab also. But you have to understand the Arabs will tell you that the blacks that took to you see any blacks you see in Iraq, Syria, Iran, Lebanon or Oman and even as tiny as the other Qatar. These are the Africans they took from Tanzania, Kenyans, These are the ones there, right? So the Tanzanians, can ask, okay, what you gotta do? But the West Africans have to chase the one, because the Arabs able to come to the West Africans like that, because just too far from them. So the West Africans, which is ECOWAS, if they want to talk about repression, they have to chase the white man to pay the Caribbeans. Why putting that thing there? The Caribbeans is because we know. Look, 400 years is not too far, my brother. I have my great grandfather that more than 400 years that I know the name, right? More than 400 years. We talk about 700 years even. So they have to, the African Union, West African Union. I'm not talking about African Union now. I'm talking about ECOWAS. Have to ask their colonial masters. They can push for them to compensate the Caribbeans, that the Africans they took to these Caribbean territories and Brazil and United States. Those that feel like Africa and United States. Because the ones you see now, they say they're not Africans. You understand? That's why I'm not too bothered about the United States ones. Because they have to chase actually where they're coming from. But the one that they felt that they're from Africa, I think they need that money. Any other one that said they're Indians, that they were being enslaved in America, they can ask the United States government to compensate them if you're from the Indian family.
Right. Infinity, welcome to the panel. How are you today?
You're not too bad. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can
I
you
can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can hear you. How are you today?
You're not too bad. Not too bad, sir. Not too bad.
That's what's up. Hang on a second, Infinity. Hang on a second, Infinity. Where are you calling from?
London.
London. Big up yourself.
London, UK. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
are you originally? Where are you originally from?
From Ghana. From Ghana. I was born in England, but my mum and dad are from Ghana. Yeah.
Indeed. How's the weather in London right now?
It's fairly warm. It's fairly warm. So this is the thing. During the days of slavery, from the 1600s.
Wow, you're not one for small talk, are you, Infinity?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Do your thing. Do your thing.
England, Britain, all that period from 1660 to about 1620, most of the European currencies, gold coins are made from West African gold. Through those coming from them slave fortresses off of the west of Ghana, like Cape Coast Castle, Fort James, and Fort Metal Cross, and all these places. So it should be places like Jamaica. It should be easy for them to, if you don't know, there was a massive handover of gold to England, Denmark, France, Holland. During those days, they done this slave operation with our gold as well. You don't know, all their currencies were made of West African gold. The FBA have messed up massive time. They messed up the days of the 13 colonies because 13 colonies were a part of the United Kingdom's colonies. They say they done.
Yeah. So tell me the point. Tell me the point you're trying to say. Like, be clear, because I'm trying to figure out exactly what the main point is you're trying to bring across. So be clear on exactly what the point is that you're making.
But from 1660 onwards, I'm saying it would be good to go to England because England's currency and Holland's currency and France's currency and the Dutch currency are part of the story of slavery. Are part of the story because we handed over the gold to them as well.
Oh, so you're suggesting that? So you're suggesting that FBA and ADOS be a part of the global reparations?
Do you know something?
Program.
Do you know something? I don't give a damn F if they don't want to. To be honest with you, from what I've heard from their mouths, they basically, I think, from the days of the 13 colonies, from the year 1660 up to 1760 and 1776, I think they forfeited that anyway. Do you expect African people to vouch for them, saying that we gave England all that gold for that period of time when England's colonies in America, for when England had colonies in British North America? After what they're saying about people, they thought they made it difficult. I think, do you know something? And this is the other side of the reparations argument with them for the United States side. That man Biden, he didn't want to know at all. They don't want to know. They're in massive debt in their country. They don't want to know. They're gonna go. From when Trump was in office the last time in 2020 to now, they've gone 17 trillion in debt. You think they're gonna hand over another 17 or 18 trillion debt to Black Americans now? They ain't gonna do it. Just have to try to be realistic and honest.
I got you on that, and I hear what you're saying. But the topic of the show, though, Infinity, the question of the day is we're talking about the 6th region. You've been listening, so the question is just what are your thoughts on the idea of the 6th region? Do you consider yourself to be a part of that 6th region? Do you consider yourself to be a part of the 6th region?
What do you mean? People in Europe and the UK? Is that?
Do you consider yourself to be a part of the African Union?
Well, I'm from Africa anyway, so even though I was born in England. It's a non-starter. It's a no-brainer. Of course, I'm part of it because my parents are from there, so I'm part of it. Yes.
Right. And do you believe in the idea that people in the diaspora should actively help to build the continent of Africa?
Well, if they want to, but I think in this reparations apart from if they want to, that's either down to them, yes or no. It's subjected to each person. Yeah, it's down to them. If they want to, yes or no, it's down to them. But the thing is, for the reparations thing, Africa would have been a massive help because it supplied most of those European countries their national currencies. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they want to help, it's up to them, really. We can do a lot ourselves anyway, if the conditions are right. But if they want to, they want to. They don't want to, they don't want to. It's I'm not begging people.
Indeed.
Are you still there? Yeah, I'm not begging people.
Yes, I'm still here.
I'm not begging people. If they want to, if they want to contribute, they can contribute. They don't.
What are they coming to build? Who are you talking about, the FBA or you talk about the other ones? If you talk about the Caribbeans, that is totally different. The FBA and the ADOS, they don't come to build no damn shit in Africa. They should build their own hoods where they live in and build wherever they want to build in the United States. You understand me? We didn't need them to build our cities. We didn't need them to build places like Lagos, Accra, Harare, and all those places. We didn't really know if they even exist even at that time. You understand me? So what are they coming to build? They build no shit. They should just remain where they are and develop themselves over there. We don't really need them.
Sure. Ola, can you tell me again, you may have said it before, but can you tell me again why the Black Americans are the only diasporans that you wouldn't welcome into what you see as an ECOWAS type African Union? Why did you say again that Black Americans are the only ones you would exclude?
Yeah, because they're not. Look, you cannot bring in people that's constantly telling you that they're not African. They don't have nothing to do with Africa. They're not Africans, and nobody's even asking them to claim Africa. They're constantly saying, all kind of things that they want to talk about, and they become their YouTube trading aspect, both old and young, in among their their culture, their movement, or the Black Americans community, that they're not Africans. We are not, look, in Africa even, we have our own tribes and everything. We're not like all the same, but we have respect for each other's tribes and everything. That's where we navigate cultural exchange, marriages, and everything. You understand me? So they are not the type of people that they're flipping time. You know, they can be moved out of the blue, they're plastic. You know what I mean? So we in Africa, we don't change like that. We don't become Yoruba, the out of the blue. I'm an Ashanti now. You know, it's not something we do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Yoruba.
It's called integrity. Integrity. They're flipping flow. They're flipping this way. They're flipping that way. Like it's an integrity thing. You know, it's an integrity thing. You understand? It's an integrity thing. You can't be flipping this way, flipping that way. You know, it's not good. It's not good.
Right. And, you know, even according to what the AU, what I read today from what the AU stated, it says the only people that they consider a part of the diaspora are those people in the diaspora that identify with the continent, which I think is pretty much the reason why Ola says he doesn't want Black Americans there, because he thinks Black Americans don't identify with the continent. And I think the objection that Ola has been getting is that Ola doesn't seem to acknowledge that there are absolutely, among Black Americans, there are a lot of them that identify with Africa and are themselves Pan-Africanists. And even when people try to say to Ola, you know, Ola is just the FBA, because FBA does not represent all of Black America. FBA does not represent all of Black America. But you know, he insists on saying Black Americans. And I think when he does that, you know what I mean, it's kind of doing those Pan-Africanist Black Americans a disservice.
Yeah. Understand, because there's a subgroup called the FBA. I understand how their mindset, but not everybody is like that. But it causes a lot of confusion for the people who are not like that. It causes a lot of confusion and gridlock for the people within the Black American group itself. So there's certain people who are the FBA crowd who've got a very loud voice and speak within how they speak. Then there's another group. So you do have to consider them as well. They have to be considered as well. Understand what you mean?
Right. Let me ask you both a question. If you could speak to FBA, right, and you could tell them what they are missing out by not identifying with the continent, like what is it that they are missing that the people that do identify are getting? So can you tell them what they're missing by not identifying with the continent? You know, because go ahead.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, well, as I said, first of all, help with the reparations argument because of the currencies, the 24-karat gold currencies we gave to those European countries. So going like speaking about the 13 colonies, I'm just going to isolate them for this instant. The 13 colonies from the 1660 up to 1776. England's currency was made of West African gold. We could have helped them out with that. If they wanted to delineate by themselves, they're in open water surrounded by sharks by themselves. They could have had the support there instead of attacking. Rather, they could have had an ally instead. So that's what they're missing out on. That's one thing they're missing out on.
Just more support for their reparations claim?
Yeah, they could have had massive support.
You think that if they had your support, they would have gotten some reparations money by now?
Yeah, because.
So how come y'all haven't gotten any reparations money?
Because you don't know the European, they're devious, man. The things from what I heard were they done during slavery.
But I'm saying if your support would have helped them to get reparations, then you would have had some reparations already because you were supporting yourself. So what support are you talking about?
I'm speaking about because England, because of England would have, or say England are responsible for the period of slavery from 1660 to 1776 on the main coast of on the 13 colonies. That would have to be paid by. We'll say yes, we gave them the money through trade and gifts, and the people have suffered under your grasp. So you should pay them some of that money back. Pay them some of the money for
But
the
they
suffering.
can make that claim on their own. They can make that claim
but
on their own. The same way they're making. Hold on. The same way. Hold on. Infinity. The same way they're making their individual claim against the American government, they can make their individual claim against the British and an individual claim against the Spanish. They can make all the individual claims they can. And I don't know what type of support. Like, do you think that having one big claim, an African Union claim, and creating an African Union fund will be better received than individual claims?
What I like the Caribbean and like North, rather than have one big mass. I don't know. I think it would. For what it is, I think Africa has more political power than most. I think because of its natural resources. That's why. But I don't think Black America's got that much strong political power. The leaders are not that brilliant, man. The leaders are not. The black leaders in America don't even support reparations. They don't know. They don't.
Ola, back to the original question, Ola. If you could tell FBA what they're missing from not identifying with Africa, what would you tell them? What are they missing out on?
Bro, I cannot really answer that question because they're not missing nothing, because they're not part of the Africans. You understand me? They look.
What would they be getting if they were part of the Africans?
No, yeah, but for me, I don't really want them to be part of anything about Africa. They should keep their Pan-Africanism.
But you're not answering my question, though. You're not answering my question.
Yeah,
at least Infinity answered the question.
Yeah, but
I want you to answer. If your answer is nothing, then it's nothing.
Look.
But I want you to answer the question, though. What are they missing out on?
From my perspective, if I answer such a question, let me say I'm behaving fake. You understand me? And let me say I'm acting fake. I'm not really acting fake. You understand me? So that's why I said that question for me, I have to skip it. Because for me, they are not part of anything of Africa. They are just part of United States. They should chase their compensation from the British government. At that time was an empire that was ruling United States at that time. You understand me? So
so let me ask you a different question, Ola. Can you tell us what the Caribbean countries that are part of CARICOM, can you tell us what they are receiving by identifying with Africa?
Yes. Because the Caribbean countries, right from time, were always having communication with the Africans. Even when they were shipping some, they were also bringing new members to them. So that's why some of them still able to still have names of food, some languages being mixed into, like the Jamaica patois, the Trinidad's Africans still bear some certain food like akara in their baked beans, and like what the Brazilians are having also. So, and other type of food with some of them with Ghana, Ashanti wares, and other wares that where they're coming from. What I want as an African, we have to open a trade route as West Africans towards the Caribbeans, so that we can benefit from each other with visa free, which means you can come and live in my place if you want and do business. I can come and live in your place if I want to come and do business. They can easily become a citizen of ECOWAS, because some of them came from Ghana, some of them came from Nigeria, especially the Jamaican ones and the other ones. So they can be easily have citizenship of each other country and reconcile for the evilness that happened, so that we can have our rituals of forgiveness and finally cry together and say it will never happen again. That's the one thing in my heart that I'm chasing. That's what I'll tell you. In terms of the benefit, we have a lot to benefit from each other because we are
So you actually answered the question. You actually answered my first question in terms of what are they missing out on, and apparently the answer is they're missing out on crying with you.
No, I love things as well. What they're missing out, what they'll be benefiting from is natural resources as well.
Yes,
because
that's what I'm talking business aspect.
Natural resources galore on planet Earth.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about business.
Yeah.
That's talking about trade.
But you know, right now, hold on, now, France and America and Russia and China are benefiting big time from those natural resources, and none of them identify with the continent the way you want Black Americans. So they can benefit. They can benefit from the continent. They can have trade routes like Ola was talking about. They can open trade routes with the continent, and have all of that stuff going on without having this identification with Africa and crying with you that you're asking them for. Like, why can't you open trade routes with them and do everything with them without why is identifying and crying with you a requirement?
Without me crying that we should put out the tears of the evilness that happened. You understand me? Because what happened is still kind of like lingering. You understand me? It's not yet. We did deal with that aspect yet. If you check it, there's still kind of like underground suspicious among ourselves. You understand me? For those that will be taken away, you don't blame them for them to see like, hey, I was being taken away. Why you remain in the continent, right? They still kind of like, because we have similar type of identical DNA, we still have the way we express feelings that we need to solve the past before we move to the future. You understand me? So that's why I said we can cry that one out and solve those problems, solve whatever is lingering. Then as we solve those lingering, we have to establish route. When we trade route, ship route, and an easy movement of citizens for some of these African descendants in the Caribbean. If they want to study in some of these countries like Ghana or Nigeria, Sierra Leone or Liberia and all these places, they have access to these places. If they want to do business, they're tariff free in some of other states. With this, we were able to bond together, just like the way the English and the Australians and the New Zealanders, what they're doing up to today, what they name themselves the 5 Eye. We can call ourselves the 3 Eye or the 2 Eyes, and that's just the way they have to be connection. That's why manners the blacks United States should be totally being pushed out of this discussion, because they're not having we don't know who they are really. They are Indians, one hand, they are Choctaw, they are FBA, they are ADOS, they are Freemen, they are all kind of names that we can't really put on it. You understand me? They are their own people. They should be their own people. God bless them with whatever they see themselves there.
But I'm saying though, Ola, right? If ECOWAS is okay with uniting with those northern Arab states that enslaved them, right? Because those northern Arab slaves that enslaved them are a part of the African Union. If they're a part of the Union, why can't FBA also be a part of the Union? They never enslaved you. Because, well, I guess in fairness, you also did say that you wanted ECOWAS to get away from those northern states. So in fairness to you, I'll give you that one. But if the AU is okay with having these northern, for lack of a better term, Arab states in the African Union, then regardless of whether FBA calls themselves Indians or Moors or Hebrews, none of that should matter, not to the AU anyway. You know what I'm saying, Ola?
Yeah,
You know,
but
do you know, can I say something? Can I say something? See, this is the thing with Jamaica and the Carib. You have governments to represent you. They don't. Black Americans don't have that. They don't have that in their favor. They don't. They're just
Say that
Americans,
again. I'm
and
sorry. I'm sorry. Can you
like
repeat yourself? Can
Jamaica.
you tell them what they don't have?
Jamaica, if they have their as a claim for reparations or whatever, Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean islands have representation through their government. They're pushing for that, but the Black Americans they don't have that. Even the Black American politicians say no, we're not supporting representations. They haven't got no political power. They haven't
But
really. That's the thing about
listen.
it.
Infinity.
That's why. Yeah, go on.
It would be one thing, right? If those Caribbean reparation movements were garnering some type of victory somewhere, but they're
Okay,
not.
but
They
they're
are
not.
just
Okay.
as successful as the FBA reparations movement, as
Huh.
certainly as the FBA reparations movement is not being accepted by the people they're speaking to.
Yeah,
Neither is the Caribbean reparations
yeah.
movement. Y'all haven't gotten a penny either.
I
So
know.
for
I
you to
know. It's
say
gonna
if
take
y'all
time.
came over here, for you to say if y'all joined us and did what we were doing, you'd be doing better. It's just kind of crazy because y'all are not doing better.
I think this whole reparations thing with these white people, they're tough nuts to crack. It's gonna take a hell of a long time. I think it's gonna take like if you had it
How
nice
long
and
do you think
organized,
this Caribbean thing is going to take?
I think it's gonna take about 50 years, man. If you get
50?
everything
How
right and
long has it
proper.
been going
Yeah.
on? How long has it been going
Huh?
on? How
What do you
long
mean
has it been
this?
going on?
How long has it been going on? To be honest, I don't know. How long have you been chasing it? I
The
don't know.
Caribbeans?
Yeah. How long have you been chasing it?
Longer than FBA. I know that
Yeah,
much.
and it's going to take
Longer
a
than
long time. Yeah,
FBA. And I
it's going to be
think they're actually the ones that gave the blueprint of how to do it to the AU. I think
yeah.
the Caribbean, the CARICOM people may just be the heart, what I mean,
Maybe
what's
so. Yeah,
really
I think so. I
pushing
think
this
so.
reparations through the
Yeah,
AU.
yeah, because they have the governments to back them as well. They maybe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm
and
saying like
yeah,
they're being rejected just like the
I
FBA
know,
reparations is
I
being
know.
rejected.
Yeah,
So you can't say to FBA if you came over here you'd be more successful
yeah,
because you're
yeah.
not more successful.
No, but
So
I'm
let them
speaking.
do their thing according to
Uh,
them.
yeah, yeah,
According
yeah,
to them,
yeah,
listen. According to them,
yeah,
they
yeah.
see a
Okay, yeah,
path. They see
okay,
their path, and they're like,
okay.
and they're like, listen, man, if y'all succeed, we'll have a case. So do y'all thing, and then we'll decide
Yeah,
whether
that's
to
true.
hop on to
It's
yours.
true. It's
But
true.
they're like, right now, we see a path here, and they're going for that path. But I think you're just kind
Yeah.
of. I think you're doing too much saying that they should join your movement.
I'm not saying they have to, but I'm saying they don't have the political power. I don't know where's all their arguments are being shut down. Every state they go to, this California thing. I've read about the California claim for reference, Maryland, it's just been shut down everywhere. And their own black political leaders are saying no. So where
Well,
does it go? Where do they
no,
go from
it
there?
hasn't been shut down everywhere. Because
Yeah.
the California task force that you spoke about, there have been successes there, and there have also been other successes, reparation successes in America, where payments have actually been made to individuals. So there are pockets of success. So when
Please
you
tell
say
me
there's no
example.
success anywhere, that's not true either. And I think
Please.
they look at those areas
Yeah.
where they are having
Okay.
success and
Yeah.
build off of those. And I think that's the plan, is to see where
Oh,
they're successful and build off of that. But rest
good luck for
assured,
them.
infinity,
They go.
where I don't think, who I don't think has any pockets of success yet, the
Who?
Caribbeans and
Yeah.
AU. You
Yeah.
would have to show me
Yeah.
those pockets, because what I know is that to this day, that global reparations fund, you know how much money is in it?
I
Zero.
don't know, zero.
Zero
Yeah, I don't think
dollars.
I think a lot of study and organization needs to be much more needs to be done and focused. Oh, it's just this is at the beginning. It's going to take a long time. It's going they're tough nut to crack. Look at the Cherokee freedmen. Look at they've been running for over 100 years, over 150 years to get reparations from the Cherokee for them being enslaved by the Cherokee. It's a pain. It's not going to be easy. I know, but it's going to take generations. I think it's just going to be a long. You just have to let teach the children about it and hand it over to them over time. Something's going to take a long time. I think it's not going to be like in 10 years flat. I think they're going to put up a lot of resistance. I'd like it to finish tomorrow, but I think you have to be set for the long haul. You have to be set for the long haul.
Do you know of Infinity? Do you know of any local FBA type reparation movements in England where it's just they're just seeking their own reparations from the English?
Oh yeah, there's a Jamaican guy in Brixton. They got a separate office. They're doing some work for the British West Indies from England. Plus the people in the Caribbean are doing the same thing. So they have an office and they're doing their thing.
Do you support them?
Of course I support.
How you don't support FBA?
I support you. You know, I support you more to try to get back the money that they took from West Africa back in the 1600s.
But that's what FBA, that's the same thing FBA is doing, bro. They're trying to take back money that they earned, that they feel like they weren't, they did work that they feel like they weren't paid for. Like, I don't understand how you accept it from the Jamaicans in England, but you trying to shit on the FBA in America.
I know.
And they doing the same thing.
I'd like them to get the money from, I like them to get the money from the United States of America, but they're an exclusive entity by themselves. It's not like the British Empire, like they were for up to 1776, they were part of the British Empire, but after that, they're their own exclusive unit. They have to go after the United States government. You just told me about a Jamaican in England that's doing their own thing. And you support them. Yeah, I support that. I support the. You're a little bit hypocritical, man. You're being a little bit hypocritical. I don't know if it's because you have an American bias. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen the title of this show. You know what this channel is, right? Yeah, I know. But I'll tell you why. It's the American dream, man. It's the American dream. There's nothing better. This is the thing. It's the United States, the enslavement in the United States after 1776, it's exclusive to North America. There's no one else really involved. So this is something they could do. They could fight for by themselves without attacking anybody else. I don't know if it's that easy. Listen, you have to remember that when slaves acted up in America, they sent them to the Caribbean. So and vice versa, when they needed certain slaves to do a particular job, they would trade them from South Africa over here. So it was all being mixed and mashed up. There's no such thing as they're their own people by themselves. Like it ain't that simple. I know. It's when you go to the fine detail. Yeah, I know people are still being shipped around a bit, but once after 1776. Anyone who's entered into that United States territory, that comes under the United States. They're just an exclusive territory. Apart from people being shipped in, we haven't got no power. As an African person from Europe, I haven't got no power in the United States. Never had. You're from the Caribbean, but you're immigrated. You haven't got no power in their reparations argument. You can wish them the best of luck, but other than that, it has to be something they have to do. With the United States government, I have power. I mean, I can pressure. I do have power to support them. I can pressure my congressman here.
You know what I mean? I can
Yeah.
lobby my own congressman here in the state that I live in. And all black immigrants in America can do the same thing. So we do have power to support their claims. You know what I mean? The issue is, do we choose to or not? But listen, I'm going on 10 minutes before I hit the 2-hour mark. I'm not going to
Okay.
pass that 2-hour mark today. So,
Oh.
you know, Infinity, you came in last, so I'll let you out first. So if you don't mind, say your closing thoughts, please.
All
And
right.
if you don't
Yeah.
mind, if you want to say something about the sixth region of the AU, that would be awesome, since that's what we're here to talk about. But
Yeah.
if not, that's
I
fine
hope,
as well. Anything
yeah.
you want to say as your closing thoughts?
Yeah. I hope hopefully this the sixth region is beneficial for all, and I hope in time they the blacks in America get their reparations arguments straight and proper, and and hopefully they get it over in time. That's all I'm saying. I don't wish nothing bad on no one. I just hate the arguments, the stupid arguments that people are having. That's all. It's just stupid. It's because it's been going on for too long. That's all I've got to say.
Indeed. Well,
Yeah,
listen,
that's
blessings to you, Infinity. I am
yeah,
very happy you chose to hit the link.
yeah.
You know, hope you do so more often.
I will. Yeah, I will.
You know what I mean? Don't forget to hit that like button and
Yeah.
subscribe as well. Of course, we're going to be
Okay.
here. We have some time, so we're going to be around more often than we usually are. So, you know what I mean? Take
Okay.
advantage of it.
Yeah.
Hit the like button and
Yeah.
subscribe and stay
Yeah.
notified. And come
Yeah.
back again. Blessings to you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a part of the show.
Blessings to you too. Blessings to you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. Ola, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, sir. You want to give us your closing thoughts?
Yeah. I hope the Africans and the CARICOM can come together, the sub-Saharans or the West Africans, so that whatever the CARICOMs are looking for, they can support each other, especially the Africans to support them for their reparation. I don't think Africans need the reparation at this time because we don't really need it. We're in our own soil. Nothing really happened, damage to us like that. I hope we all come together, do business, and see what we can achieve with each other by joining hands together. God bless. God bless you. God bless where I'm coming from. God bless the Caribbeans. Thank you, bro.
Indeed. Thanks for choosing to be a part of the show again, Ola. Um, you know, you've been a constant contributor to the show, and don't think it goes unappreciated. Thanks for your time. And as for the rest of y'all out there, did y'all hit the like button yet? What y'all waiting on? Hit that like button. I'm about to shut this thing down. I'm coming back later though, so definitely hit that subscribe and notify button, because I got something else that I want to talk about, and I plan on coming back a little bit later. I just got to go spend some time with these children. So you know, yeah, my final thoughts on the sixth region would be that, I appreciate the idea of, citizenship, um, granting citizenship, investment opportunities, scholarships, and things like that. I appreciate that gesture that's being made. But I just don't know whether I think it's necessary for me to cry with Africans in order to do that. I can choose to do those things without having to identify with Africa in any other way that I choose to make investments elsewhere without identifying with those places. Um, so yeah, so even though the gesture is great, I think it's a whether people choose to do it or not is their own business. But as for me, I'm an American, and my best interest is in the well-being of my own country. Because again, you know, my country is where my power lies. Like that's where I have a voice, and that's where I have rights. And I'm not going to sacrifice that. That's too important to me. So, you know, without any further ado, man, I'm going to go take my leave. Again, I'm going to come back later, though, because I got something else that I want to talk about. So I hope y'all choose to join me. The panel will be open again, so hopefully we'll get some more good conversation going as well. So thanks again for coming around. Y'all are the best. Big up yourself, Johnny Davis. Thanks for joining us. Fly Go Boo. Thanks for joining us. Claude Zandam. What's goody? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, and everybody else, Pan-African First, thank you for joining us. Everybody else, big up yourselves, man. Respect to y'all. Hope y'all like the video. Y'all should have liked the video by now. I know when I go and look at it, I'm gonna see like 30 likes. I know there's only 12 people left, but I'm 30 likes. I know it's gonna be up there. Yeah, so once again, you heard. Catch y'all next time.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Tell the youth them to be strong. You can't tell the youth them to preach wrongs. While you try it on these lands, just remember every man is equal. Yeah. Each one teach one, and our Father God, him are the only done. So make we ease and reason. Smoke trees, span the ends, all the deep meds. Take a look at life, and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen, and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's the government, no have no heart, them no care about poor people. Yeah, bigger heads no love people again. Them more than little of them. Me see friends now reason again. Vex through whistle a blame. More time it hurt me to see how the face deal with the eagle of them. Regular me see it a pain. Regular me see it a pain. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Tell the youth them to be strong. You can't tell the youth them to preach wrongs. While you try it on these lands, just remember every man is equal. Yeah. Each one teach one, and our Father God, him are the only done. So make we ease and reason. Smoke trees, span the ends, all the deep meds. Take a look at life, and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen, and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go. So it go, so it go. It's the government, no have no heart, them no care about poor people. Yeah, bigger heads no love people again. Them more than little of them. Me see friends now reason again. Vex through whistle a blame. More time it hurt me to see how the face deal with the eagle of them. Regular me see it a pain. Regular me see it a pain. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's the government, no have no heart, them no care about poor people. Social commentary. Drop the one, your principle, you don't know. The global will come and do it. Some people life every day, it's stress. The high price from JPS, that topic is currently. Jah alone, him a go help you. We need food, but we no healthy. We are feel the pain, beg you protect me. In our life we have no envy. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just, so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's a government, no have no heart, them no care about poor people.
Very carefully.
It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. But bad mind them up to one hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them, yeah, rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she buy in a read. Not even 5 bills, you can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep an eye open every time you go slave. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go rape. Them never yet plant and not try figure rape. Bigger heads where you fight for the sake. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle was submit. The system will slide where you fit.
In the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, ghetto life. Talk about ghetto life, ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want it though. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life, ghetto life. This a real ghetto life, ghetto life. Yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody just a pre-success. When me looking at the street, you me see enough stress. Them all a fight for who reach up next. Everybody want floss and a beat up chest. Juvenile in a them teen love sex. Them a breed the fast money, them no need subjects. And if you're unfortunate, please don't vex. I saw the things said cause the streets don't rest.
In the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, ghetto life. Talk about ghetto life, ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want it though. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life, ghetto life. This a real ghetto life, ghetto life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about life in the street.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. But bad mind them up to one hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them, yeah, rifle a beat. Everybody want big ups and want to drive in a Jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she buy in a read. Not even 5 bills, you can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep an eye open every time you go slave. Cause mankind jealous and them idle go rape. Them never yet plant and not try figure rape. Bigger heads where you fight for the sake. Now care about the future nor the child where you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle was submit. The system will slide where you fit.
In the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, ghetto life. Talk about ghetto life, ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want it though. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life, ghetto life. This a real ghetto life, ghetto life. Yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody just a pre-success. When me looking at the street, you me see enough stress. Them all a fight for who reach up next. Everybody want floss and a beat up chest. Juvenile in a them teen love sex. Them a breed the fast money, them no need subjects. And if you're unfortunate, please don't vex. I saw the things said cause the streets don't rest.
In the streets so we born and grow. Only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, ghetto life. Talk about ghetto life, ghetto life.
Everybody a priest say them want it though. That's why them a speed and they pan the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life, ghetto life. This a real ghetto life, ghetto life. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's all about life in the street. People are suffer, try survive in the heat. Bad mind them up to one hygiene a do it. That's why enough of them, yeah, rifle a beat. Everybody want the ghost, I want to drive in a jeep. Every day I'm at the ball when she buy in a read. Not even 5 wheels, we can't find for the week. Me no see no changes, the same cycle repeat. Give thanks cause life it's a sweet. But keep a eye open every time you go sleep. Come mankind jealous and them idle go live. Them never yet plant and not try figure rape. Bigger heads where you fight for the seed. Now care about the future nor the child when you creep. Them a pray the fat Kyle we sonate. The system will slide where you fit.
In the streets where we born and grow, only Jah know and nobody know.
When we talk about ghetto life, talk about ghetto life.
Everybody a priest and them want the dough. That's why them a speed and they on the go.
Cause this a real ghetto life. This a real ghetto life. Yeah.
Very, very carefully.
Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. When God spoke his words, they said he was deranged. Marley sung his songs, they said the same. Malcolm X and Martin Luther fought relentlessly so we could be better. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. When God spoke his words, they said he was deranged. Marley sung his songs, they said the same. Malcolm X and Martin Luther fought relentlessly so we could be better. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are praise. Brought us from the motherland in bondage and chains. Bury our culture and change our names. They claim we're free, yet we are in pain. As long as there's life, there's a lot to gain. Just because we're black, they say we are slaves. Speak of righteousness, they say we are